Hey, ¿qué tal amigos? Bienvenidos sean todos ustedes a un episodio más de su compa el Michoacano MX. En esta ocasión nos encontramos por aquí en la terminal de Prime en Springfield, Missouri. Por aquí regresamos con Chad después de casi 3 semanas que duramos en el camino. No se le olvide por ahí cualquier pregunta sobre el Recruiting Department, contactar por allí a la señorita G de Ross. Toda la información de ella está por aquí debajo de la descripción de este video, número de teléfono, correo electrónico. Por ahí también está el link para aplicar en Prime. Si aplica en Prime, no se le olvide ponerme como referencia. Mi código es MARJUL. Nosotros nos vamos al training pad.
Alright, so now we're going to start off with the engine compartment pre-trip. First thing we're going to do, we're going to look underneath the truck to make sure there's no leaks.
Okay.
Alright, so the truck's not leaking. So that's your first step. Now we're going to go passenger side. Alright, so passenger side, you got your general hoses. They're properly mounted and secured at both ends. There's no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. They're not leaking. Right here, you got your alternator, belt-driven alternator. It's properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. The alternator wiring, properly mounted and secured, properly connected. There's no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. There's no wire showing. Then you got here your serpentine belt, properly mounted and secured. There's no cuts or frays, and it's not cracked. And the slack is within 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. Now we're gonna go to the driver's side.
What you hit?
Yep. You've kissed that mirror so many times, it ain't funny. Alright, so now we start with the same thing. Driver's side, general hoses. They're properly mounted and secured at both ends. There's no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. They're not leaking. Now we come over here. This is your gear-driven air compressor. Properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not leaking air. Then you got down here, you got your power steering pump. It's gear-driven as well. It's properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not leaking. Okay. And then you come on over this way here, and you got your oil dipstick. It's properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's filled to manufacturer's specification. You can check with the dipstick. All right, right here, this baby right here. This is your belt-driven water pump. It's properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not leaking water. All right, we'll get right here. So start right here. This is your serpentine belt once again. It's properly mounted and secured. There's no abrasions or cuts. It's not cracked. And the slack is within 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch.
Right. Let me see the bell.
It's right here. Okay. It's kind of hard to see, but
okay, I can see it now.
You got it?
Okay. We good.
Now here, this is your water coolant reservoir. It's properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not leaking. It's filled to the manufacturer's specification. The cap is on tight. Okay. This right here is your power steering reservoir. Properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not leaking. And the cap is on tight. And then right here, this is your power steering gearbox. It's properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not leaking. Gearbox and power steering fluid container here. Hose for it. Properly mounted and secured at both ends. There's no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. It's not leaking. Alright. So that covers this part right here. Now we come on over this way here, and you got your spring hanger. You got a front and a rear right back there. They're properly mounted and secured. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. This here is your leaf spring. It's properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not shifted or bent.
One more time, lip spring.
Leaf spring right here.
Okay, that's good.
Yep. And then, since we're right in that area, we'll go right to the U-bolts. They're properly mounted and secured. They're not cracked, bent, or broken, and there's none of them missing. Okay. Well, here's your shock absorber. It's properly mounted and secured at both ends. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not leaking. This here is called your steering linkage. Goes all the way to here in the corner. Connects to your tie rod. properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken, and none of these 3 castle nuts or cotter pins are missing. Okay. This here's your air line or air hose, however you want to look at it. It's properly mounted and secured at both ends. There's no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. It's not leaking air. This here's your brake chamber. It's properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not leaking air. This here is your slack adjuster and your push rod. Properly mounted and secured both ends. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. And when the brakes are released and you pull this baby by hand, it should not move more than 1 inch. Okay, so now we're gonna get right into the brake drum. Properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. Then you got your brake lining, all this stuff right here. Your shoe. Properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. There's no oil or debris, and the friction material here is not worn dangerously thin. And that is your friction material. Okay, all right. It's your tire. Properly mounted and secured. No abrasions, bulges, or cuts to the tread, the sidewall areas. It's filled to the manufacturer's specification, checked with an air gauge, and the tread depth should be no less than 4/32 of an inch. Kneel on down here. Here's your rim. It's properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. There's no unauthorized holes or welds. Lug nuts. Properly mounted and secured. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. None of them are missing. There's no white residue or rust trails, and there's no cracks around the bowl holes. Here's your axle seal. It's properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's filled to the manufacturer's specification. That completes the engine compartment. Now we'll carry you right on into driver's side door. So here's driver's side door. First thing we do, pop her open, door and your hinges. Here's your hinges. They're properly mounted and secured. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. The door and the latch itself opens and closes properly. This here is your door seal. There's no, it's properly mounted and secured. There's no, it's not worn, torn, or dry rotted. Good to go. Then we roll right on in here. This is your fuel tank. It's properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. Neither the tank or the cap right here, if you'd like to see it, is not leaking. And the cap right here is on tight. All right. This is your steps, your catwalk area. They're properly mounted and secured. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. And there's no loose debris or objects on it. All right. Right down in here is your exhaust. It's properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not leaking. Drive shaft. That baby right there. Here, I'll let you.
Yeah, let me go the other side.
Let me come on over here.
Okay.
So I can point it up. Right here's your drive shaft. It's properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not twisted, and there's no debris in the U-joints. This right here is your torque arm. It's properly mounted and secured at both ends. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. Now this right here is your frame. If you want to get up in here so you can actually see the thing, that's your cross member. Your frame and cross members are properly mounted and secured. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. There is no unauthorized holes or welds. Okay? Then now we're going to start right back into the same thing in the front. This right here is your spring mount. It's properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. This right here is your spring arm. It's properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not twisted or shifted. This here is your brake chamber. Properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not leaking air. Right underneath there, if you want to squat down right here, you'll be able to see your slack adjuster and your push rod.
If you just point it kind of where it's at.
It's actually right underneath there.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to get to, but.
So what is it?
That's your slack adjuster and your push rod.
Okay.
It's properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. And when you release the brakes and you pull it by hand, it should not move more than 1 inch. This here's your brake line or air line. properly mounted and secured at both ends. There's no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. It's not leaking air. Okay, now continue right on past there. This right here is your U-bolts. It's properly mounted and secured. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. None of them are missing. This here's your shock absorber once again.
Okay, hold on.
It's properly mounted and secured at both ends. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not leaking. This right here is your airbag. It's properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. And also, it doesn't have any abrasions, bulges, or cuts. It's not leaking air. And the airbag mount is not leaking any bolts.
It's not leaking any bolts.
I'm sorry. I said that totally wrong. It's not missing any of the bolts. Any of the mounting bolts.
Sounds good.
I don't know where I was thinking on that one. I apologize. Alright. So now we gotta go to the brake lining and brake drum. This right here is your brake drum. It's properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. Then you get your brake lining as well. Properly mounted and secured. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. There's no oil or debris, and the friction material is not worn dangerously thin. Okay, so now that covers this part here. Now we're going to scroll right on right over here. Here's your mud flap. Properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. Tire, properly mounted and secured. There's no abrasions, bulges, or cuts to the tread, sidewall areas. It's filled to the manufacturer's specification. Check with an air gauge. And here, the tread depth should be no less than 2/32 of an inch. Go right back into the rim. Properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. There's no unauthorized holes or welds. Lug nuts. Properly mounted and secured. Not cracked, bent, or broken. None of them are missing. There's no white residue or rust trails or cracks around the bolt holes. Hub seal or axle seal. Properly mounted and secured. Not cracked, bent, or broken. Filled to manufacturer specification. And then it's mounting bolts. Properly mounted and secured. Not cracked, bent, or broken. None of them are missing. They're all tight.
Sounds good.
Yep. And that covers your driver's side door area.
Right, Chad?
Now we're going to do the coupling area. Start the electrical line. It's properly mounted and secured at both ends. There's no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. There's no wire showing. Is it properly mounted and secured at both ends? Yes, it is. Okay. This here is your air lines. They're properly mounted and secured at both ends. There's no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. They're not leaking air. This here's your glad hands. Properly mounted and secured. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. They're not leaking air. And in between them is your glad hand seals. They're properly mounted and secured. They're not worn, torn, or dry rotted. They're not leaking air. All right. Now we'll get down into the bottom here. We'll start with the apron. It's right here. It's properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. This here is your skid plate. Properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's well lubed. This is what they call the gap. And there's no gap between the apron and the skid plate. No gap. No visible gap. Okay. And this right here is your sliding fifth wheel and your locking pin. Properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. And it's in the fully locked position. This right here is your release handle and safety latch. It's properly mounted and secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. It's in a fully locked position. And then right here is your air line. Properly mounted and secured at both ends. There's no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. It's not leaking air. Alright. This here is called your platform. Properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. These are your mounting bolts. Properly mounted and secured. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. None of them are missing. Bang my head up there.
What you hit? What you hit?
Yeah. All right. So now we really get into the good and dirty. I'll scoot over so you can get right up in there. All right. So right up in there is your kingpin. I wish I had a little better light for you. I can get the flashlight if you'd like.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Get the flashlight? All right, give me 2 seconds.
Lamparita para que nos muestre.
All right, so, once again, I apologize for not having the light right away. That big, tall cylinder piece right there is called your kingpin. It's properly mounted secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. And then, these are your locking jaws. They're properly mounted secured. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. The jaws are fully locked around the kingpin. Very important. Actually, we'll call that crucial. This here, between here and here, it's called your gap. It's your gap between your landing gear and your trailer and your mud flap. Or your clearance, I'm sorry, your clearance, not your gap. And what it is, you want to make sure that you have enough clearance between your landing gear and your mud flap, so when you turn corners, they don't hit. Alrighty. Next step we'll go into is your trailer. Alright, so now we're going to do the trailer inspection. Alright, so first thing you start with, even if they're not on there, you still got to do it. It's called your straps and your winches. Alright, here's your winch. Properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. None of them are missing. And your straps should have no frays or cuts. They're properly mounted, secure as well. All right, this here's your rub rail. Goes the full length of the trailer on both sides. It's not cracked, bent, or broken anywhere. And none of the welds or anything like that is broken. Alrighty. Now, what we're gonna do is tip your head underneath right here. Frame, cross members, properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. None of the cross members are missing. Landing gear, properly mounted, secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. The landing gear is in a fully raised position. This here is your landing gear crank handle, properly mounted, secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's in a fully locked position. All right. Now we'll take a little walk down this way. Way over yonder. As we did the same in driver's side door area and engine compartment, now you get right back into the brake, tires, and them components. So, would you like to get down inside there as well?
No.
Or do you want to get in front?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Well, right there.
Let me see.
Right there's your airbag. Well, we might be able to do this better by the back tire.
Go ahead.
Okay. So this will probably be easier. All right. So. It's easy enough. There's your slack adjuster and your push rod.
Hold on.
Yep, okay, this will be easier. It's going to be a little out of order than normal, but it's easier to do. Right there's your slack adjuster and your push rod. It's properly mounted, secured, not cracked, bent, or broken. When the brakes are released and pulled by hand, it should not move more than 1 inch. Right here is your airbag. It's properly mounted, secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. There's no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. It's not leaking air. And right there is your airbag mounts. The bolts, none of them are missing. They're properly mounted, secured. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. Okay, this might be hard to see, but right there, we'll keep working our way forward. That big piece right there, that is your spring arm. It's properly mounted, secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's not shifted in any way. Up there is your spring hanger. Up there is your spring hanger.
Show me from the side. It's gonna see.
Okay. Right there.
Right there. So what is that?
That's your spring hanger.
Okay.
Properly mounted, secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken.
And that's connect with the spring arm.
Spring arm, correct. It's really hard to see, but it's kind of one of them scenarios with a trailer. So now we'll do the brake drum and friction material as well while we're over here. Right there's your brake drum. properly mounted, secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. And your brake lining, right down there. Properly mounted, secured. There's not cracked, bent, or broken. There's no oil or debris. And as you can clearly see, the friction material is not worn dangerously thin. And then, let's see if I can't get right through here. Find your brake line. Right there's your brake line. Right there, properly mounted, secured. At both ends, you can see the colors too. There's no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. They're not leaking air. That's your air line, your brake line. Okay. And it's not leaking air. It's a lot hard to see. Right there, if you can come over my way just a little ways, you can see where my headlight is. Right there's your brake chamber. It's properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. And it's not leaking air. And that's what was connected to this piece right down here, which was our slack adjuster and our push rod. Okay? Now, can you see over here pretty good? Alright, so we got your, and then right here, in case we have anything like that, that right there is your shock absorber. It's properly mounted, secured at both ends. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. And it's not leaking air. Okay. Alright. Now we can do the tires from out here. Alright. We'll get out of the sunlight. We'll come right here. Alright, so right before we get into tires, this here is called your gap. Or, yeah, gap.
Gap spacing.
Gap spacing. And what it is, it's make sure there's enough gap between your dual tires, because we don't have a super single, we have dual tires. And you gotta make sure when you look in there, there's nothing stuck in there. There's no debris jammed in between there. Very important. Okay? So, now we'll get right on out of here. It's your tire. It's properly mounted, secured. There's no abrasions, bulges, or cuts to the tread and sidewall areas. It's filled to the manufacturer's specification. Checked with an air gauge. And the gap, the tread depth should be no less than 2/32 of an inch. Rim, properly mounted, secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. There's no unauthorized holes or welds. Lug nuts, properly mounted, secured. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. None of them are missing. There's no white residue or rust trails, and there's no crack around the bowl holes. No cracks around the bowl holes at all. Axle seal, properly mounted, secured. Not cracked, bent, or broken. Filled to manufacturer's specification. And then come back here. One last piece. Mud flap, properly mounted, secured. Not cracked, bent, or broken. Okay. Now,
así la vamos a dejar, amigazos. Vamos a seguir nosotros trabajando por aquí con Chad. Lo ha hecho muy bien en backing maneuvers.
Ya.
En esta ocasión solamente les vamos a dejar por aquí este video de pre-trip para que no se nos haga muy largo. Nosotros vamos a seguir trabajando. Want to say something, Chad?
Yeah, there's been quite a lot learned in just over 2 weeks of time on the road.
A little bit over 2 weeks.
We covered the entire Midwest just about, and every day we were working on pre-trip in some form or another. Whether it's engine compartment, coupling, whether it's trailer, in cab. Lighting was the most recent one of them all.
Yeah.
But you know, it's crucial. You cannot go to step 2 without passing step 1.
So I think we're gonna call good for today, Chad.
Sounds good. And then tomorrow we're gonna be right back hammering it again.
Yeah. Test day coming.
Test day's coming, and this man right here needs to go home and see his children. And it's his birthday. His son's birthday is coming on Sunday. So I'd like to make sure that I pass so I can get him home to see his children, because I do not want to have to explain to his wife why I messed up because he can't be home. Thank you guys all for watching and watching me progress step by step. And if you guys have been watching this, you guys have had to have learned just as much of this rig as I did. And you know, there's a lot. And if you guys would really like to get into this guy right here works for Prime. He's a trainer. He'd be the one to love to teach you how to do this. And I've been doing the flatbed division.
Flatbed division.
Correct.
You enjoy flatbed, Chad?
I wouldn't do anything else. just kidding.
Yeah.
Anything that you guys want to do. There's a lot of us truckers out there, but you know what? There's not a lot of them that are super safe.
Yeah. We'll see you at the next one. You might do some backing maneuver, Chad.
Backing maneuvers would be great, and there's quite a few of them.
So así la vamos a dejar, amigazos. Be safe up there.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches. Have a great day. And thanks for watching.